So, what do you guys think? Is the entrepreneur the heretic or the hero of innovation? I can tell you, I have the scars. So, let's go through what I was told. Years ago in grade 7, I was growing up in Montreal, and I did one of these aptitude tests, and they said I should be a filing clerk. So, like a good kid, I took it home to my mother. My mom, archaeologist, father, historian, both with PhDs from London University in England, both teaching at McGill University at the time. So my mother took this aptitude test, she ripped it up into little pieces, she threw it in the garbage, and she said, "Sue, this is rubbish." My mother, with her 6 kids, was going to either have doctors or engineers. So that's really how it started. This went on. So people told me I can't do math, I can't do engineering, I can't do technology. Even when I was in McGill, in engineering, one of my French-Canadian classmates said to me, "Why are you here?" He said this to me and my friend. "Why are you guys here? You're taking the place of men. You're going to just go out and get married and leave the profession." And this went on. So when I left the safety of government R&D labs, where I had built up my own lab doing AI, and I decided to go out and start a venture, I was talking to the venture capitalists. And so they said to me, "Well, Sue, at best, maybe you can be a CTO, never a CEO." And not only that, but one of the ones on Bay Street, which I won't name, essentially asked me, "What does my husband think of this venture? How many years have I been married?" In any case, one of the things that was also probably most blocking in terms of doing this was I was also told if I persist, my kids are going to end up on the street. So this didn't dissuade me. Wasn't bad enough, folks. So the first rule for Sue is believe in yourself and ignore all the bullshit. There is a lot of bullshit out there, folks. And so what you want to do, and I heard Terry Matthews speak years ago, and I loved his speech. And he said, you're going to go out, you're going to risk something, you're going to start a business, you're going to make mistakes, you may even fail at your first one. So what? Pick yourself up and do it again. And for me, education is definitely freedom. We can't all be Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, who are essentially billionaire dropouts. It would be nice, but we can't. So from that perspective, nobody can take away our education or of our experience. The other thing is help your community, help yourself. So really, for me, I've done thousands and thousands of hours of volunteer work, whether it's helping grade 2 kids learn how to read, do math, do computers, thousands of hours with the National Centers of Excellence in terms of putting innovation hubs all over this country. So, get out there, people, get involved. And finally, you only live once. You really have to live your passion. Stop wasting your time. So, I'm going to give you the benefit of the minefields and the scars that we bear, and I'm going to do it in essentially the process of a business case, just because I thought that would be interesting. And by the way, this applies for men, women, dogs, cats, whoever. So, our 2 examples. So first thing, you're going to set a vision. You want to figure out what you're going to do. First case, I was running a government AI lab. I had built it up from nothing. And all I saw was all this information coming at us. This is 15 years ago, folks. And I decided there's got to be a way to reduce this amount of information and put it on mobile. Great. Second company was about 7 years ago or so. After 9/11 and after Virginia Tech, we realized that we want to be able to save people's lives anywhere because you don't know where you're going to be when all hell breaks loose. So, next thing up, you got to look at your market. Do you have a market? If you only have $1 million market, that's not good enough, folks. 1% of that is $10,000. That's not enough. You need these giant markets. I had a VC tell me you need markets as big as Texas. You need huge markets regardless. First case, 15 years ago, the wireless market was $90 billion. Fabulous. 2001, market crashed. The $90 billion market, for those of you that can remember that far back, essentially disappeared overnight. So then what do? We looked at what we had, and we developed this great content analysis engine. So we thought, well, let's use it for compliance. Everybody's trying to figure out what's in the email. And then Entrust came along and bought that business. In the second case, the life safety and security market in the United States alone today, $390 billion. It's a good market, folks. Next up, go out and build this great product and actually protect it. So in both cases, we filed 15 patents. In the first case, we did build this great product that you could summarize information to mobile, but then we can also put it on the smartphone. And then, as we said, we pivoted in terms of looking in the email. In the second case, we've now built this platform that no matter where you are, if you're at the airport, if you're at the hockey game, if you're at the shopping center, what have you, we could find you and help you get out to safety. Your teams, super important. I don't know about you, but I like to go to work and have fun. I'm gonna have a team that I like to go and see every day, and they like to come into work every day. Because to me, if you don't like going to your job, you're dying. So you shouldn't be doing it. Figure out another job. So in the cases of the team, who can you trust? If you're not gonna be the CEO, is there somebody else that you can trust that would lead the venture for you and get you to where you need to go? With respect to your product, who's going to give me the catch me if you can features? Who's going to help you beat the competition? Your competitors know everything about you. They're always watching you, so you should watch them as well. Board of directors and advisors. My brother is a Silicon Valley CEO, so he's the other engineer in the family. And he said to me when I started my venture about 15 years ago, Sue, go out there, get the gray hairs, put your boards together, because these are the people that you're going to need when you hit the bumps. Sure enough, we have needed them a lot. The rest of it you can outsource now. Business model. So the best thing I can share with you here is essentially build your product as fast as you can, get it into your hands of your customers so that they can actually beat up on it, tell you what features they like and they hate or they prefer, and make sure that it's artistically designed and looking beautiful, because it's true, it does matter. And then also, they can help you with your pricing models. They can help you decide if you have the right pricing or not. And here, for sure, you got to know your competitors. All right, your financing. So the financing is interesting. The biggest lesson we learned, folks, and yes, you can laugh at us for this one. In the first company, we were offered $10 million in 2000, and we turned it down because we thought it was too soon to take that kind of money. 2001, all the markets crashed, and one of our venture term sheets was actually pulled. So that was a bad mistake. That's the colossal one. But really, in terms of financing, there are different sources. So we've used angel investment, first two ventures. First one was $4 million, second one was $3 million. We leveraged that with government investment and grants. And so the grants part is great, but the loans be very careful with. With respect to the loans, when we did the Entrust deal, they only bought the compliance business. They left the wireless because it was encumbered with an investment loan. So then the government called the loan on us. So we had to go and negotiate that. So venture capitalists are great. You invite them in, when your valuation is a bit better. But in my opinion, once your revenues hit $1 million, that's when you invite them in. But not everybody's venture-backed. Only 4 out of 100 companies get venture funding. And only 1 out of 1,000 women who's running a venture gets venture funding. So maybe it'll change someday. So what you're going to do is you're going to bootstrap. What does that mean? You've built this great product, you've taken it to your customers, you're going to make revenues, and you're going to plow them right back in. Exit. This is the fun stuff. So you have different ways you can exit. We all know that. Reading or recognizing the dance is very interesting. This is where the experience and the gray hairs come in. So when Entrust wanted to OEM our product for their secure messaging line, they started asking us unusual questions, financials, just financials, wanting to get deeper into the product, et cetera. So our board realized right away what was going on. And then the roller coaster begins. So in December, they gave us an offer. I turned it down flat. My team says they've never seen me so upset or so angry. In any case, they then sent in KPMG. 4 months, folks. KPMG was in our little company doing all this vetting, and my team wasn't even allowed to know what was going on. So I had to tell them the board wants evaluation. What can I do? Right after that, within a month, they gave us the letter of intent, and we did the deal. And then I had a bit of a mutiny because I had a number of people in my team that didn't want to be bought by Entrust or perhaps by anybody else. And so then I had to manage all those expectations and get them happy. These people you're going to need for your next venture. So take the time to make them happy. Your angel investors. So one of my angel investors, and yes, we had Microsoft angel investors. I can't believe that we would have, it's scary, but it was actually well worth it. In any case, so one of them invested in 10 companies, and out of those 10, 9 of them were shut down by the venture capitalists when the markets crashed. We were the only ones still going because we didn't have venture capital. So there's the shiny part. So what worked? We already covered that. What didn't or doesn't work? VC as seed is not a great idea. Fast growth. So in the first company, we grew to 50 people within a few months. And then the markets all crashed. So then what we had to do, I had to tell people that felt that they had won the lottery, that I'm sorry, folks, you can't work here anymore. So that was really quite kind of heartbreaking for them. Also sales numbers. You gotta be very careful with the sales guys. They're nice guys, but you gotta be really careful with them. You as CEO, it's your responsibility. And then the media story. So you can imagine as a tech female CEO, I'm a novelty. And with an unusual name, of course. So from that perspective, you want to manage that. I've had a number of CEO friends, male friends, really burnt by the media. So you want to manage that carefully. Be careful what you share in this social media world of ours. So, am I the entrepreneur as the heretic, or am I the hero? Absolutely the heretic. I'm the insane person that doesn't fit in that box. I'm the nonconformist. So, Anne Askew, and I love this, is actually, she was the first person that was tortured in the Tower of London and then burnt, not because she was a witch, but because she was a nonconformist. This is in about 1546, so I can identify with this poor person. It doesn't mean that as an entrepreneur you're going to go through this. However, you've got to realize that you're the person that's thinking outside of the box, and you really have to toughen your skin. You can't let all this negative stuff feed you too much, because you're going to succeed in the end, and you know it. They don't, but you know it. So, with respect to the entrepreneurs, we need you. Men, women, please persist. Without you, innovation is going to absolutely die. Government R&D is being cut all over the world. So from that perspective, you are the only hope. For women entrepreneurs, I have good news and bad news. So I'll give you the good news first. The good news is in 15 years, it didn't get worse. It didn't get better is the bad news. So it just sort of stayed the same. I mean, it could have gotten worse. That would have been bad. So final words. So number one, these are the stupid reasons to do a startup, that you get the freedom to do whatever you want. That's just not true, folks. You have a board of directors, you have customers, you have team members, you have landlords, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a lot of people to manage. Get rich fast. Not if you're bootstrapping. You're going to build this business, and you're going to make millions and so on, but you're going to build it slowly but surely. And that there's lots of financing and lots of help out there. No. You are the white knights. There are no white knights. You are the one on the steed. You're the heretic and the white knight. I know. It's confusing. Okay, so great reasons to do this. You're passionate, you're intelligent. One of my Microsoft investors used to say he looks for entrepreneurs with MIPS, millions of instructions per second for the non-geeky people in the room. That's what they look for. So persist, I would say, so you can, do it if you're a persistent person. You have great ideas. You're a boundless optimist. So when the markets crash, when your customer leaves you and your investors won't, or somebody won't invest in your company, you go to your team and you're the cheerleader. We can still do this, folks. We can get this done, and we do. And it's so cool. You get other customers. You get other investors. It does work out. And you can execute and rise above the bullshit. So last two things, an update. The kids are not on the street. My son is a graduate from computer science Waterloo. He's working as a game designer, loving it in Vancouver. My daughter is in computational biochemistry at Carleton University, new program, loving it. And then my companies have made $18 million so far, and more to come. Thank you.